guys, thanks for coming back to BREEDSTYLE. On today's episode, I want to share with you guys my top 10 books that I absolutely love that feature Black main characters. It's representation in the books that we read to our children is so important. When I first had Joanna, I knew that I wanted to make sure that she had main characters, Black main characters that she could identify with, that were teaching things like self-confidence, self-worth, and self-love. And so even before, I had her, I had already had a little library of books together that I knew that I wanted to read to her. And so some of these I got a long time ago, and then some of them are more recent additions. And I'm going to share with you guys a couple that are very popular right now that I actually don't really like and don't really resonate with me. So that way you guys can kind of pick and choose what you think would be good for you guys. And I'll give you guys a little quick synopsis. So the first book that Joanna ever received was actually from my boss, Janet Miller, and she is so wonderful. She purchased this book called One Love, and this one is from Cedella Marley. This book is so wonderful. The illustrations are absolutely beautiful. The message is all about coming together in community and loving one another and knowing that no matter what happens in our world, everything is going to be all right. This book is absolutely fantastic. This one retails for $7.99. I'm sure you could probably even find it cheaper on Amazon. Joanna loved this book so much, and I read it so much to her that the first copy actually got so worn down that my boss bought her a second copy. So this book is her number one, JoJo's number one pick, and I would definitely recommend it. Again, it's called One Love by Cedella Marley, who is based on the song by Bob Marley. So that's the first book. The second one is also by Cedella Marley, and this one is called Every Little Thing. This is based off of the song Three Little Birds by Bob Marley, and it's Every Little Thing is Gonna Be All Right. And pretty much it's the lyrics of the song, but the story is all about a little boy that, he makes a mistake cooking in the kitchen, and, his mom and dad are very angry with him, but then they say, don't worry about it, everything's gonna be all right, and everybody makes mistakes. So this book is really good about, making mistakes and knowing that no matter what, you are loved unconditionally, no matter what. So this book is also one of JoJo's top favorites. Those are her top two for sure. This book, I can recite to you word for word, every single word. I have read this book so many times. It's called I Like Myself by Karen Beaumont. And basically she talks about, I like myself, I'm glad I'm me, there's no one else I'd rather be. And she talks about all the different things that she could be. And no matter what, no matter how crazy or outlandish or unassuming or weird she might be, she would still love herself. And Joanna has been hearing this story since she was a newborn. She absolutely loves it. The illustrations are 100% fantastic. And, it also is very poetic and rhymey. So your child or your students will really get into the story. So I would definitely recommend this one as well. I Like Myself by Karen Beaumont. Okay, next up is Mary Had a Little Glam. This is a recent book that my dear friend, teacher Mary, sent me in the mail. And it's pretty much a play on Mary Had a Little Lamb. But it's all about a little girl that has so much swag and so much character that, she's so surprised when she gets to school and everybody's looking really lame and nobody's dressed up. So she decides that she's going to dress her entire class. And then what she realizes at the end is sometimes being super duper glam is not the best thing. It's based on the situation, and they go to recess and she's all glammed up, and it's just not a good situation. So she realizes that it's best to sometimes dress it up, but sometimes dress it down. Joanna really likes this story. This one is a little bit more of a serious story, but it's an awesome story for any child of any age. This one is called Ruby Bridges Goes to School. And if you know anything about this story, it is a historical story about the first Black girl to ever go to school during segregation. And this story is awesome because it's written in a way that's very factual, but at the same time, it's child friendly. So it's not very, very traumatic. Some kids, depending on the sensitivity of your child, might be really, really, really disturbed by the story, but it is a message of hope at the end and a message of, you know, being able to overcome obstacles. I find that when I read it to Joanna, she's not traumatized by it or anything like that. It just talks about, my name is Ruby Bridges. I went to kindergarten in a school for Black children. I like my school. I like my teacher. I like my friends. And it's a very facts-based book. But also, like I said, I don't feel like it's too traumatic even for a 2-year-old, which I read it to Joanna because I want her to know about the story of Ruby Bridges, of this courageous, amazing little girl. It teaches, you know, the moral of the story is that you can be courageous, you can be strong, even in the face of really, really scary times, you can overcome those things. So on a lighter note, this story is called I Just Want to Say Goodnight. It's by Rachel Isadora. And this is a story that's set in Africa. And I absolutely love the illustrations of this book. Joanna loves it. Every night before bed, I'll open it up and I'll read it. It's about a little girl who's not ready to go to sleep. And so what she does is she decides that she wants to say goodnight to every animal in Africa, basically. And her mom gets fed up and tells her it's time to go to bed. And then at the very end, she says, I just want to say goodnight to my book. And the book is Goodnight Moon. So it's such a cute story. As you can see, the illustrations are just to die for. So yeah, definitely a great bedtime story. What number am I on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is book number 7. It's called I Love My Hair. You guys, so there's a lot of books about hair in this stack. This is my favorite. Not only is it extremely well written, but there's so much beautiful imagery in the story. I find that the illustrations are also really beautiful, but there's one part in particular that Joanna really loves, and it's this page. In the morning before we walk to the store, Mom adds colorful beads to the ends of my braids. The beads click to the rhythm of my walk, helping me remember what we're going to buy. Tap, tap, clickety-clackety, milk, bread, and peanut butter. Joanna absolutely loves this because she wears beads all the time, always braiding her hair in these funky, cool hairstyles. And she loves that tap, tap, clickety, clackety, peanut butter, bread, milk, bread, and peanut butter. She absolutely loves it. This story is very well written. I think this story deserves an Academy Award just because of the imagery and just the beautiful illustrations. Such a good story. I could go on and on. Lola at the Library is just an everyday, ordinary tale about an adorable child that wants to go to the library and listen to story time and do all the things that we used to do before we got locked down and quarantined with our kids. So this is a really cute book. It's very straightforward. It's just pretty much talking about her experience at the library. It really instills in our kids the importance of going to the library, the importance of engaging with other people at the library, and the importance of loving, reading, and loving books. This is a really good one too. Lola at the Library. This one is by Anna McQueen. Okay, so, oh my God, I can't believe that I've gone this far without sharing with you guys my favorite. Solway, this book is so amazing. This story, if you don't know, is about 2 sisters. Well, really, it's about the main character, who is Solway, and she is dark. She's dark skinned, and she has beautiful dark melanin, and she's very ashamed of her dark skin because she's not able to make friends and people pick on her at school. She talks about how her mom and dad and the rest of her family are lighter skin tone and that she really struggles with loving herself as opposed to, so what she tries to do is take off the layer of her skin. She tries to change her skin in different ways. And then basically she says a prayer to God and she's visited by God. Well, a star appears at night and pretty much tells a tale of two sisters, night and day, and the importance of both, of how basically the dark needs the night, the dark needs the light, and the light needs the darkness. And it's a tale of how one day darkness left the earth because she was so tired of being taken advantage of, and she was so tired of people not appreciating her. And so then the people were begging for her to come back. And at the end, Solway just is so happy and so renewed and so confident and so in love with her skin, in love with her darkness. And this story is by the beautiful Lupita, who is an amazing actress and she's an amazing model. She's amazing everything. But this is the author. And like I said, you guys can purchase this one and you will not be disappointed. It is amazing. Make you cry every single time. Girl, I be bawling my eyes out. I bawl my eyes out. So this one is I Am Enough by Grace Byers. I got this from a Black-owned bookstore online called Mahogany Books. I got this as well as 7 other books. I'm waiting for the other ones to arrive. This book is absolutely gorgeous. The illustrations are beautiful. I'll give you guys a quick glance inside. But basically it says it's a book for everyone, an inspiring lyrical ode to loving who you are, respecting others, and being kind to one another. And it's really, really, really just an adorable book. I love this book. And at the end, she pretty much comes to the conclusion that she is enough. And Joanna really loves this one. This one is called Tiny Truce. It is a Bible with Black characters, and it is amazing. The stories are short, they're to the point, they tell the full story. All of the main stories that you learned about growing up in the Bible are in here. Noah's Ark, Jonah and the whale, John the Baptist, Jesus and the disciples, King Saul, Jericho, Old Testament, New Testament, everything is in here. But it's so short and to the point. And what I like to do is read Joanna these stories and then ask comprehension questions like, who was Adam and Eve? Why did they get in trouble? Why didn't they listen to God? Who was responsible for them disobeying God? Who told them it was okay to eat the fruit and stuff like that? And Joanna and I really talk about these stories, and I just love that they feature Black characters because, as you know, in the Bible, many of the characters were from the African continent as well as Middle East. And so, you know, 9 times out of 10, they would not be like some of the white characters that you see in some of the other books. So I thought that was really, really, really appropriate. Okay, so now that we are at the end of the video, I want to share with you guys 3 books that are really common right now that they just didn't really do it for me. The first one is this book. It's called Hair Love. And the story is so cute. Don't get me wrong. The illustrations are fantastic. But there's a couple issues that I have with the book. One, the little girl is she's pretty much pressuring her dad to do her hair because she has something really special that she's trying to get ready for. But the book doesn't really go into detail as to what it is that she's so excited about. I mean, one can assume at the end that she's excited that her mom is coming home, but it just feels a little bit anticlimactic because the little girl's really pressed wanting to get her hair done, but then, you know, we don't really know why. And then at the very end, the last page says, my hair is mommy, daddy, and me. It's hair love. And I just don't get it. Y'all call me dumb, but I just don't get that last page, girl. I don't get it. I mean, I know that what she's saying is like, my hair is a combination of my mom, dad, and who I am, but I don't know. It's just not my favorite. Although it is very cute, and Joanna loves it. For me, every time I read it, I'm just like, okay. This story is called God's Very Good Idea, and it does feature a lot of Black main characters throughout, but the book is kooky. It is fruitier than a fruitcake, okay, girl? Some of the concepts get really, really deep, and it talks about going to hell and all kinds of stuff, and it's just, for me, it's just too much for a 2-year-old. It's too much for any child. It's not the message of Christianity that I will be trying to teach to my child at a young age. You know, it's okay to talk about, you know, doing right and wrong and sin and stuff like that. But I just feel like it gets too kooky for me. You might enjoy it. It's pretty much like a creation story. But like I said, it just gets a little bit weird for me. And the last one is Don't Touch My Hair. Now, Joanna likes this book and I like it as well. The problem that I have with this book is that Joanna doesn't have a real social context yet at 2 and even 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds for why this little girl is so stressed out with people wanting to touch her hair. And it's hard to explain to a 2-year-old the societal stress that comes with people asking you to touch your hair. It's kind of like something that you kind of learn along the way. And I can't explain it to her, but I feel that Joanna gets stressed out by this book. Joanna loves her hair and she loves for other people to love her hair. Her cousins try to play with her hair and touch her hair all the time. And for her, I can sense that she gets a little stressed out that this little girl doesn't want her hair to be touched. And she doesn't really get the reasons why this little girl is stressed. And so the book is a little stressful because the little girl goes to outer space. She goes all over the world trying to escape people touching her hair. And then she gets real frustrated at the end and she says, "Don't touch my hair." And she screams. And I just think it gets a little stressful for Joanna. And I think that the message overall is good. But at the same time, I feel like it's kind of teaching her to be stressed about something that she shouldn't have to worry about at this age, and that I don't think that she would worry about until much, much, much later. As a matter of fact, when I was a child, I didn't mind it as much. It wasn't until I got older and into corporate America where I had this white lady like yank on my hair and say, "Is it even real?" Or like do something completely ridiculous like that would really set me off and make me upset. When I was young, kids would say, "Wow, your hair is so beautiful." They would try to touch my hair and it didn't really stress me out. It didn't bother me at all because it was just other children, my peers. Do you know what I mean? And kids that were my friends. So I feel that this issue usually doesn't really start happening until you get older in corporate America or college. That's whenever you start feeling like people start treating you like a petting zoo. And it's like random strangers when I got older would do that. That's just my experience. But overall, I just find that Joanna gets stressed out by this book. She doesn't understand why the little girl is so pressed, So overall, these are my books. I absolutely love them. I have so many more. If you guys would like a part 2, please comment in the comment section below. Part 2, just put part 2 down and I will do a part 2 with you guys of about 10 more books with lead characters that I absolutely love, and maybe also share a few more that I don't really resonate with as well. Let me know what your thoughts is. As always, when we talk about different stuff like this and we have our opinions, people are going to have their opinions. Leave your opinions in the comment section below. Have you read these books? How do you feel about these books? Which ones are your favorite, girl? Thank you so much for watching today, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.